Hi everyone, welcome back. It is still April 27th um, on a Tuesday, and I filmed early this morning to announce which of my pieces were elected to be part of my May stitching, and went ahead and put that video up today. So since then I have completed my meeting at church, and I have come home. I had lunch with my husband, and then this afternoon, in the late afternoon, my husband and I took Coco to another park. We're blessed to have several parks here in Gainesville, and so we took her to another park where she played in an area that's a grassy amphitheater, so we can throw the ball up these tiered stairways, and she can run up and down and really get some energy out. And then after she does that, I get to do my walk, and she's calm enough to walk around the little track with me. There's a beautiful 1 mile trail that's got asphalt down, so it's real easy to walk, and we did that today. So that's why I'm so casual. So I apologize for being in my son's practice jersey from when he was in high school. But I love it. I've kept it all these years, and I wear it on occasion when I'm out exercising. But today I was working on a prompt for one of my Facebook groups, and I think in my last video at the end, I said it was going to be for one in a series, Sal, and it is going to be for that. But that actually doesn't take place till May 3rd. The prompt I was working on this piece for today is a prompt that you're supposed to stitch on a piece that you've had your own battle with. And I never would have thought this would have been the one until I started working on it today, and I realized this is it. This is what I'm going to use this for, and let me explain why. This is Winter Arbor. I'll remind you of what that's supposed to look like. So pretty. I had these 2 trees done when I picked it up today to get started on it, and my goal was to stitch 2 more trees at least, and I had to get 200 stitches in for my prompt. I got 239, and that completed the 2 trees, and that's where I stopped. Let me explain why. Here's the piece. It's beautiful. It really is. It's on a beautiful linen. I don't like to stitch on linen that much. I know many of you absolutely adore linen. I prefer even weave because I really get frustrated with my stitches and how they look when the threads start slipping and sliding. And that's what they did today. They just gave me fits. And I think it was because of the stitch I was having to do. This is a broad diagonal cross stitch, and in this white tree. The green tree wasn't bad at all. Let me tell you the name of that stitch. It was a lot of fun. It was called a double cross. A double cross stitch. So almost like a hash mark in here. And that went really, really quick and easy to count, and I loved it. And so I thought, oh, this is going to be great. And I only have 4 more trees. I might finish this. I just might push this to a finish. Well, the next tree changed my mind on that. It's in white thread, which shows every little nuance if you lay it incorrectly or pull it too tight or anything like that. White just for some reason is like a beacon, like a light bulb. And this stitch right here, it's called a broad diagonal cross stitch. I think I had mentioned that a minute ago, but I'd already blocked it out of my mind. It's a pretty stitch. It makes the tree look completely snow covered. It's real pretty with that. And you would think, because these stitches overlap their self and, just make this pretty little triangle, or diamond shape rather, that it would be easy to stitch. Well, it wasn't for me, for whatever reason. I found it extremely difficult to count on this linen. Having the, thin and then thicker lines with your linen weave that you do, these things are slipping and sliding away. The way the stitch is made, you come down from this top to the side, you go on in your fabric and you come out right next to it. There's only two, there are two threads in between it, but when they're really, different shapes and sizes, they're not uniform. And so I'm not real happy with it, but I did it as smooth as I could, counted it as well as I could, and you know what? It's gonna stay there. I'm done with it. It was not my favorite stitch, and I think it was just worse because it was in all white, and it really highlighted the fact that they weren't completely uniform. They weren't perfectly uniform. I would have to practice these a very long time to get them that way. And this is going to become a pillow decoration, a little pillow to go on my mantle in winter with my winter decorations. It's not going to be a family heirloom. So I think that that's like horseshoes. It's close enough. It's prettier when you stand back than when you look at them real close. But anyway, it's done, and my prompt I was hoping to meet today has been met. So I think that's great. It was great to see several people today that I haven't seen in a long time, and I'm thrilled to death that I had heard from another friend this morning, and she wants me to meet her for lunch tomorrow. And so I'm looking forward to that. I have a dentist appointment just for cleaning, to your routine stuff tomorrow afternoon. So I'll go enjoy my lunch with my friend first, and then I'll go to my dentist appointment, and then I'll come home and stitch. That'll be great. So the next time you see this will be pretty soon, because I am hoping that I can use this for my prompt for the cross stitch finish line, one in a series. And I think my goal there, the next tree is a specialty stitch. So depending on how hard it is, I will either do that one tree, or I may try to do a couple of trees, but there are only 3 left. And then you have a little bottom border, and this one would be finished. So if I weren't saving this for that one in a series, I would probably go ahead and finish it. But I may. I think I'm going to put it away because I got a little frustrated with it today. Not it, with me, because I couldn't get it to do what I wanted it to do. But it is beautiful. So that's my update for today. I'm going to let you get back to your stitching. If you took a break to watch, I appreciate it. And I will talk to you soon. Happy stitching, everyone. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is Tina. It is April 28th. It's Wednesday, and I'm here to give you a stitching update from today. I am excited about this one, and it's kind of fun to be able to share it with you. Recently, many of you voted on what pieces I was going to be able to work on for my focus pieces in May. And this piece I'm about to show you was one of the options you could vote on. A lot of you mentioned that you voted for this piece because it was a gift and therefore it needed to be finished. And I agreed with you that it needed to be finished. It was my travel stitching, and I've been able to do a lot of that lately. And then once I get to a certain point where I see a finish is within reach within a few days, I can't not do it. I just have to push it on forward. So when the voting results were published in my last video, this one wasn't chosen as the winner in the pair that it was in. The other one was chosen, and that's not any fault of this piece. It was up against a very popular one, but I won't be working on it as a focus piece, and that's okay because I've already finished it. So today I finished I'll Put the Kettle On. You've seen the poem before. And then I was most recently working on these 2 ladies. And I actually did purposely let it stripe because I thought that was such a unique, lovely look to the thread and with the modeling on the fabric. I just thought it went together very, very well. Almost looked like a screen, you know, like someone had screen printed and this is like the first pass or something. Anyway, I found it very, very interesting. And this is water lilies. Let's see, Karen water lilies, and the color is chili. It is a silk, and so it's stitched up beautifully on this fabric. This fabric is a picture of this plus quartz, and it's a 32 count, but you guys know with picture of this plus over dyed fabric, it's pretty tight. I'm guessing it's closer to a 36 than a 32 because it was very tight. But I loved it. I think it's beautiful. I think it's just lovely. So now I have finished this and I have my box for it, which is the tea box, the tea storage box. And my plan is to put the two ladies on the top outside of the box so that this is what shows when it's closed. And then the beautiful poem is what will show on the inside of the lid when it is opened. So I will now fully finish this at some point. This is going to be for Christmas for Ellen, and so I don't have to worry about fully finishing it immediately, but I am thrilled to death to have this Christmas and birthday present finished, because this box is the Christmas present, and then I'm going to fill it full of her favorite English tea for her birthday. They're a few days apart, 2 days apart. So anyway, she'll open them together, and so it'll be great. She can just fill it up in that box. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I'm going to count up my stitches this last little bit and do the calculations I need to post it in my Stitch from Stash. If I'm not mistaken, this might be the only finish I've had this month. That's unusual, isn't it? But that's okay. Just in time for the end of the month, so that I can work on all of my plans for May. So that'll be a lot of fun. I also used this for 2 prompts that I was working on today by just doing alternate stitches. I knew I was going to stitch it till it was finished, so I didn't mind doing an extra 100 stitches for each prompt. And so that's what I did. But that helped me get 2 prompts. So that's awesome. So it's been a good day today. I've really enjoyed getting a little stitching in. I had a great lunch with a friend of mine, and I had a routine dental appointment, you know, getting your teeth clean. And so it's been a busy day, and I'm really grateful that I was able to stay up today. It's about 10:30. It's not terribly late, but it's time to go to bed. Coco finally gave up on me a few minutes ago. I took her out for her last visit outside, and instead of coming in here with me, she looked at me kind of sad and said, I can't do it. Went on to bed. So I think I'll go join her. I hope you're enjoying your stitching, and I can look forward to being able to show you my next project that I'm working on, and we'll go from there. Happy stitching, everyone. Hi, everyone. Welcome. It is Friday, April the 30th. Yay! I'm so excited that we made it through April and we can start our May stitching. I'm going to do multiple choice May, and I thank you all for voting for that. But I wanted to come tonight and wrap up April because I have a finish. Yay! This is Winter Arbor by the Drawn Thread. I used the Call For silks, the MPI silks. There are only 6 of them. And I had the Call For linen in my stash. I just couldn't get over that because I'd had it a very long time. And I didn't buy it for this pattern because I hadn't had the pattern as long as I've had the fabric. It just worked out that way. So very happy about that. This 32 count linen, and this is my finish. Winter Arbor, single thread 1/2 on 32 count. So it's very delicate. Might not suit your taste if you like really good coverage, but I will tell you, these silks in here really did give good coverage with the 1/2, I must say. I will also tell you too that there are specialty stitches throughout. So in the borders, it's mostly cross stitch, but then they'll have an Algerian eyelet. And then in the trees, there's a plethora of stitches. This one on the end here that looks like the little pine branches down there, that is called a fan vaulting stitch. I had to think a minute, sorry. And it's a very interesting stitch. It goes really quick. It's not hard to do. They have wonderful diagrams. Cross stitch here, but in this tree is the broad double cross stitch, and then you've got the broad diagonal stitch here and in the center of this tree. And then on the outside of this tree there's another stitch, and it's called the ray stitch, R-A-Y, like a ray out, I guess. Anyway, they're very easy to do, very, very easy to do. And the ray stitch is then used again here. In this tree, it's used on 4 corners. I don't know if I can get close enough for you to see that. And the middle is left open, and therefore it made a perfect spot for beads for the pattern. Over here, it's ray stitches, but they are in they're in a diagonal line that goes up. And so that makes it look totally different, but it's the same little stitch. So cute. None of these specialty stitches are hard to do. None of them. I thoroughly enjoyed them. There's diamond eyelets, and there are star stitches through here, and beads in these little tiny snowflakes, which makes them look a different shape and a different size, and snowflakes aren't all the same, so I thought that was a great idea. But here you go. Now, it's hard to see the beading, but it's there. It's primarily in these 3 trees. But it's in, both borders and in some of the snow as well. But not too hard. I got it all done this afternoon, into the evening a little bit, but I got it done. And so I am thrilled to death. So if you're keeping track, if you voted, you'll know that one of my pairs included I'll Keep the Kettle On, and it wasn't one of the winners. But I finished it yesterday, or 2 days ago. Anyway, because I was so close to a finish, and since it's a gift, I wanted to go ahead and get it done. I don't need it until December. Got that one done, check. Very excited about that. Then Winter Arbor was also one of the choices that wasn't selected. The pairing it was in, it did not win. But guess what? It hadn't that much left either. So I just went ahead and finished it. And I'm so glad I did. So just to give you a quick update, I am now standing at 12 active whips. I have 1 inactive whip, which is a chatelaine. And and that includes both my Haid as one of those 12. And it includes Crystal Christmas, which I said I was going to put sort of on the back burner on hold until I finish Giggles in the Snow. So I wouldn't have 2 Mirabilia Christmas pieces going at the same time. So if you take out those 2 that are kind of on hold, I actually have 10 active whips. I haven't been that low in numbers in a long time. It feels really good. So that's a good thing, because May stitching is coming, and my Mania board includes a lot of new starts. A lot. So I just want you to know I will be doing a combination of my focus stitching in May, and then I will be doing whatever I can to help further my Whip Go board. So currently I can tell you there are 2 green boxes, which means they've been called. I'm supposed to be working on them, right? Both of these are new starts. This is a full page of my Haid. So that's going to take a little while too. So these both are new starts, which I need to be working on. So I may get both of those started in May, which would be pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Well, thanks again for voting and helping me select what I was going to stitch on as my focus pieces. I start tomorrow with Giggles in the Snow, and I will spend 3 days on it before I will come back and show you, you know, what that gets me as far as how it goes. So wish me luck, and I will see you soon. Happy stitching, everyone. Hello everyone, welcome to my multiple choice May stitching. This is my version of my manic stitching for the month of May, and I am tickled to death to be able to share my first item with you. I've mentioned before I have a friend that I call Glow. Her name is Gloria, and we stitch together whenever possible every Saturday morning. Glow lives in Spain, and so that works well with our timetable. She stitches with me right before she stops and has dinner with her hubby, and I stitch in the morning right before I stop and have lunch with mine. So it works out really well. But we recently decided to do a stitch along together, and Glow found this pattern, and she sent me a picture of it in a text and said, "Do you like it?" And I said, "I do." And she said, "Would you like to stitch it together?" And I said, "Yes." And so thank you, Glow, for this project, because Glow provided me the pattern for this. And it's called Project Quarantine, Stay Home and Stitch. It's not a new one, y'all. I'm sure you've seen it before, but I hadn't had a chance to get it or start it, even though I really liked it and I love the colors of it. So Glow sent me this, and I kitted it up, and we talked about it and decided that we would start it together while we were stitching today on Saturday morning, May 1st. So surprise, this is my first start of my May stitching, and it was a secret. It was a surprise to you guys. So Glow and I started it together. We put our first stitches in together today while we were talking, and we stitched while we visited, and then we stopped. Interestingly enough, Glow has a project she's working on that she wants to bring to a finish, and I have to get started on my focus stitching for Giggles in the Snow. So we both decided that we would start it together today, and then we would put it away, and then we'll stitch on it again next Saturday when we're stitching together. So this is my progress so far. It's only 211 stitches, but it says let's stay, and then there's the H for home. I'm planning on using the called for colors as much as possible. I have a few of them are DMC that I didn't have the fancy floss for. But when I got ready to do my lettering today, it called for oilcloth. And I put that next to this fabric, and it was almost the exact same color. I was afraid it wouldn't show up very well. And in the photo, the lettering is not really bold, but it's not, you know, it's not disappearing in the fabric, and mine was. So mine is a little bit, maybe a little bit darker on my fabric, but I don't mind that. I wanted it to show up, and so that's what I did. And I actually have left my thread hanging for next week, Glow. I'll see you then. I went ahead and stitched enough stitches, though, that I was able to meet a prompt. In one of my challenges was to stitch on a piece that had lettering in it. And isn't this wonderful? I actually got to stitch on the lettering. So I will take a picture of that and I'll post it, and that will meet that prompt for me today as well. So thank you, Glow. That helped me out a lot. Well, that's it for this little segment. I'm going to put all this away. I'm going to get out Giggles in the Snow. and I'm going to start working on her. Because I'm working on the little girl right now. I will see you soon, and I hope that your May is off to wonderful stitching. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dina. It is the 4th of May. Welcome again to my multiple choice May stitching. Well, I've worked on my first focus piece. This is Giggles in the Snow, and I would like to put in a picture just for your benefit of where it was when I started on it here. And I will show you what 3 days of stitching allowed me to do. Now, I'm going to share it with you now because I'm moving on to work on a couple other things this week, but I'm going to reserve the right to come back to this week because it is the week to focus on it, and I'm loving it. So here's where we are. I hope you can tell a difference. I sure can. I had originally said that when I picked this up for the focus piece, I was going to work on her scarf over here, her arm and hand here and here, and then continue on down. I originally hoped that I could at least get those 3 things accomplished and get the snow shadow at least to the hand. Well, I am thrilled to let you know that I've gotten more of the jacket done, and now I'm coming down into what is probably her shirt or tunic or something that's underneath the jacket. It's starting to poke out on the 2 sides. And I was able to bring the snow shadow all the way down to her here. And now I'm working my way across so that I can do the same thing over here. I went ahead and stitched all of the little snow things here, at least to the midpoint. And I am at the midpoint of the pattern here, so it's almost halfway done. I don't have the word at the top. I'm gonna wait and do that at the end so I can stitch it and beat it at the same time. But I'm so tickled. I'm so tickled with the progress. And I don't want to stop working on it. I had to make myself stop today because there is a prompt in Cross Stitch Finish Line to work on something that's a series, and that actually dovetails in with my whip go board, so I want to share that with you. But in order to get that started today, I had to put this away. So you'll notice I don't have it far. It's right over here on my desk. So I'm going to put this down over here. Pardon me for turning away from you. Just want to put it up so that my little fur baby does not think that it's fun to chew on that stick. You know, the roller frame would look like a stick to her, I'm sure. Okay, so on one of my Whip Go numbers for this month, it was a new start, and it was to work on one of the Sew Together series patterns. I hadn't even said which one because I hadn't picked which one I wanted to do next. And I'm to put 5 hours into it. So I thought this is a perfect time to stop and do that because Cross Stitch Finish Line has a challenge to stitch on something that's in a series. And of course, these are the Sew Together series. And so I can meet that prompt by doing this and hit my Whip Go goal as well. I'm also going to use this for 24 hours of cross stitch. So hey, 3 goals in one. That's even better than I normally do. So this is the one I've chosen to do next. It's called Ribbons and Trims. I spent a good deal of time this morning. I have 6 of these. There's more, but I have 6. And I was trying to figure out a layout. I've been stewing over that because the one I started with at the top of my fabric, the top left corner of my fabric, is a bird, and it's facing out the wrong direction if I'm going to do a series. But guess what? This bird is facing the same way. They don't face each other. I would have had to flip the first pattern to get them to work right. So I thought, I'm not going to worry about it. So instead, I decided to lay them out in a row, 3 across and then 3 across on my piece of fabric. They'll all be on that one piece of fabric. And my hope is that I will be able to frame these 3 across and a separate frame 3 across. And so I'll have 2 that are the exact same size and they match as far as subject matter, and I could put them, I have a spot in my sewing room that I think I'm gonna put them where they will fit perfectly. Anyway, because this is for my sewing room. In case you haven't seen one of my videos in the past where I worked on the first one of these, which was also a bird, but it had blue and orange in it, where this one's more of a pink and brown focus. I'm using sulky threads with this, but I didn't have all the called for sulky threads. I was at Sassy Jack's when I picked these patterns up, and they didn't have all of the threads that were called for, but they had a wonderful array of sulky threads. So I took my first pattern I was going to start, and I went through and I picked all the colors that I thought I would need that would match as close as possible. They're not the exact number, but I picked a pink and I picked an orange and I picked a brown, and I picked everything I thought I could possibly use. In the end, I wound up using on the first one 2 DMCs, 2 strand of DMC equals about 1 strand of sulky. It was enough that it looked beautiful together. And so I'm gonna do that again. So I took some time this morning and I pulled out the little guide sheet for the stitcher, the symbols, and I picked up my bag of sulky that I had in this project bag, and I did a conversion. I just looked at the colors that I had, the colors that were called for, and I created my own palette. It's a little bit different, but it's as close to it as I can get, and I think it's gonna look pretty together. The other thing I decided on today is there's a border around each of these. Now my first border, they all look to be a neutral color like this. In my first border, I didn't want the neutral color. I wanted blue because my bird was blue. It was a beautiful blue, big blue front of the bird. And so I did the border in blue. In fact, it was 2 shades because it was in 2 different colors. This border is 1 color, and I thought, well, do I want to do a blue border for every one of the squares, or do I want to do something different? So I decided I would look and see what colors were in all of the 6 patterns and what would look good. And so they either have blue or they have my sort of an orange color. So those are going to be my borders, and I'm going to alternate them. I'm going to do blue, then orange, then blue, and in the second one I'm going to do orange, then blue, then orange. So I think that'll look great. I think it'll help highlight part of the colors in here. So today I'm starting this, and I will be working on it this week until I hit 5 hours and hit that Whip Go goal so that I can check off a Whip Go goal this week as well. But the fun part is this is my second new start for my multiple choice May. So I'm not just working on those 4 whips. I mentioned to you I would be doing other things during the week, and this is my second new start in the month of May. So I'm still sneaking in those new starts this month as well. So I'm pretty happy about that. I will talk to you soon, and hopefully be showing you my progress on ribbons and trims. In the meantime, enjoy your May stitching. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Hi everyone, welcome back again. This is Dina. It is still May 4th, but just later in the evening, and I am here to give you an update on how my stitching went on my new start, ribbons and trims. This was a new start for my Whip Go board. It's also going to be used to meet a prompt on 24 hours of cross stitch, I believe, on the acrostic. But I want to tell you, this is a joy to stitch. I'm stitching this on a 32 count Lugana. The color is Springfield Sage. It's 28 count. I'm sorry, not 32. But I want to show it to you. Well, I can leave it in the Q-snap and show it to you because this all fits perfectly in the Q-snap. Put this behind it so you can see it. There you go. My whip go goal was to put 5 hours into it, and I have stitched 556 stitches, and that's roughly 5 hours that I've been timing back and forth. So I know that I've put in the 5 today, and so I am tickled to death now that I can put this away, marking my whip go goal met, and that gives me another blue square, and working hopefully toward a bingo down the road. But this is also fun because it's a May start, and it's my second May start, so that's a lot of fun. Now, I don't know exactly what I'll be stitching on tomorrow yet. I'll be planning that in a few minutes. I just wanted to jump on here and let you know that I had hit this whip go goal with my sew together, and I will get my whip go board out and show you what that means. So let's look at it together. Here it is. This one I just colored with my blue crayon just to show that I'm gonna have these 3 blue in a row. When this one's called, I can go ahead and turn it blue because it's been done. And the last one I have is Crystal Christmas 10 hours, and I haven't done anything on it. So that would be a tough one to get, but this one's ready, and I'm excited about that. Here I'm in a similar situation where I've got one completed that hasn't been called yet. That's the chocolate bunnies. And the one that is white that I haven't finished yet is my mermaid border, so that might take a little while. There are a few of those that are going to be fairly long to finish in here. I've got to finish a whole season on Crabapple Tree. I've got to finish one whole page on my Haid, and then I've got to finish half of that mermaid border. The rest of those should be pretty easy except for the new starts. I've got new starts for the rest of them except for Quaker, Winter Quaker, and I got to finish one row, and I'm well on my way to doing that. So I think most of this is doable. I'm a little concerned about my mermaid border because it is so intricate. Can't say that tonight. I'm tired. But I think everything's going to be okay. And I'm still enjoying very much this process. And I look forward to coming up with a whip go board for next year as well, because this has been so fun. It helps keep me focused along the way, you know, as I'm working. So there you have it. That's my new whip go goal that I've met today. And then I will figure out what I'm going to do for the rest of the week. Since I've already hit my requirement for my focus stitching, although I may go back and do some more on that one. That's been fun. I will talk to you soon. Happy stitching. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dina. It is Thursday. It is May 6th, and I'm here to give you an update on my stitching for the last couple of days. I decided that I was going to pick up one of my whips that I'm using for both of my acrostics, the 24 hours across stitch May acrostic and the monthly magazine challenge May acrostic. I also thought it would be fun to start this one because I had recently finished a section of it. It's a 2-part whip, and so you'll know by that I'm talking about the block party Woof by Hands On Design. And if you'll recall, I had already finished the top square, and I had personalized it for our last 4 puppy dogs, the one we currently have right here, Coco, and then the ones that preceded her, and the last 3 that preceded her. And so that finished up the top of the piece, and now I needed to start on the piece that goes around the sides, the long piece that you wrap around the side. So what better time to have a, quote, new start on a section of this than to do it in Mania? So I did. So I just went down further on that piece of fabric because this will be the top, and then I'll cut the bottom out of the same piece across here. So then I dropped down, left some room to cut them apart, and I started on the long piece that you wrap around the sides. So I went to the middle. I put the first motif in that marks the middle of the piece, and then I started there and I did the border, the grass underneath that motif in both directions. So this is my new start on my Woof block party part 2, and I put in 427 stitches to get this started. I just wanted to go ahead and get my middle marked, and I wanted to make sure I was going to have enough room, and as you can see, I barely do. I knew that was going to be the case. That's why I serged this so carefully, but that'll be enough room to sew it together. So I was able to eke it out of this piece of fabric. Very happy about that. So that is my 3rd new start for Stitch Mania, if you're counting. And it is going to help me hit 2 parts of my acrostics, both of my acrostics. So I'm pretty happy about that. Now today I got just a little bit of stitching time. As you can tell, this is not as much as I would normally do, and that's 2 days of stitching. I had 225 stitches the first day, which was the centerpiece, and then today I did nothing but this line back and forth, and that was another 202 stitches. But that's all I had time for today. But considering that I have been in a canasta game today, and then my husband and I also had a picnic, a barbecue picnic with our Sunday school class tonight. Been a busy day. I've been sandwiched in from both ends. So my stitching began tonight around 8 p.m. So, you know, it's time for bed, and I've got to wrap it up. But it allowed me to finish what I wanted to do. So tomorrow's stitching, what will that be? Well, I'm not even sure yet. I've got some penciled in instructions on my calendar to make sure that I get everything this month for my acrostics, and to get work on my pieces for Whip Go, and to get my 4 focus pieces done. So I'll have to see what I have in my notes, and it'll be a surprise for you. It won't be but a few seconds for you. It'll be a whole nother day for me. I hope you're having a great May, whatever you're doing in the month of May. I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. I wasn't sure when I was going to get started on this piece again until I realized I could use it, you know, for this acrostic in both cases. And I really enjoy letting that help me pick what I'm going to work on, because it keeps me focused, keeps me moving everything along, and it doesn't let me get completely bogged down into getting into one piece and not thinking about anything else, because I'm enjoying it so much. I enjoy everything I work on, and I get on a roll with it, and I want to just kind of stay with it for a while. So it's good to help have these prompts that I want to meet, because then it helps me to roll through everything, and I think that's fine. So happy stitching to you, and I will talk to you soon. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dina. It is Saturday, it is May 8th, and I'm here to give you an update on what I stitched on yesterday. I had mentioned earlier in this video on a segment previously that I had completed the 3 days of stitching that I had committed to in my multiple choice May stitching, but that I reserved the right to pick that piece up again and work on it some more. Because after all, that week was to focus on that piece and get as much stitching done on it as I can. So I'm really tickled that yesterday afternoon I got a chance to get back at this piece and I did some stitching. And I wanted to show you where I'm going to leave off now, and I'm going to move on to some other things to meet some prompts. Here we are. I am thrilled to death. This little girl is really coming along, and I've got most of this done all the way down to here. There's a few little spaces where I have a few white stitches to put in, but they go down into the next section a lot. And so that to me was a fairly decent place to stop because it's even with the little boy. And so now I can roll the scroll rods. So the next time you see this, you won't be able to see all of this. You'll only be able to see the bottom portion of this stitching. So I just wanted to, sorry, I realized it was starting to need a little stretching. You won't be able to see as much of the top anymore when I roll it down. So I wanted to come and share it with you. I've backstitched the two faces, but I have not backstitched the rest of the two children. And I thought about doing that before I roll the scroll rods, you know, at all. And so I will think about that the next time I pick it up. So I may wind up doing back stitching next, or I may roll the scroll rod and keep just doing the cross stitch. But what I have left are the two legs for each child and a few of the little snow flurry or spots where it looks like they've, you know, made some progress there, knocking snow around. But I think they're really coming along now, and I'm excited about it, very excited about the progress. So really happy with this one. So I will insert a picture if I can find one of where it was when I got started, or close to where it was when I got started this week. And then that'll give you a real comparison of what happened this week when I was focusing on it. Next week, the focus will be Little Sheep Virtues, and I'll start working on that probably either Sunday or Monday. I'm not sure which day I'll get to do that, but as far as today, I'm going to be working today on some other pieces that I just want to make sure I get to touch this month because they're part of my acrostic. So I'll share that with you maybe later today or at least by tomorrow. Happy stitching, everyone. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dina, and I am here to give you an update so far today on my stitching. I decided to meet a prompt in my 24 hours of cross stitch acrostic, and so for the letter H for Sleepy Hollow, I worked on Sleepy Hollow. I'm also meeting a prompt where I have to work on a WIP related to books, and I know that this story is one that we read about in books, so this one will work for both of those prompts. And here is where I got to. So today I finished the legs, the front legs. They're all done, and now I had 443 stitches in these two legs and got them taken care of. So when I pick it up next time, I'll probably move back over here and start working on the other part of the horse, or I'll get these borders down as well. But I'm really happy that I got the legs finished because these touch down to the bottom of the tree, and if I wanted to, I could go on down here and complete that corner of the piece. So lots of opportunity to work on this. I can see what I'm in the mood for at the time, but I really am enjoying how this is looking. This is a gift for my son, and so who knows, maybe I'll make it in time for Christmas. I know I won't get it for his birthday, that's in August, but maybe for Christmas. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you and let you know that's what I've done so far today. It is only about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so I'm hoping to work on another piece, and I'm going to tell you what that is. I would normally have worked on this morning with my friend Glow. We usually stitch and chat on Saturday mornings, but she could not meet with me this morning, and so I did have this down for a prompt this week, so I'm going to have to go ahead and do a little work on it. But my goal today is to finish the H and start on the hoop so I can get the 1/1 stitching started, because my prompt in the 24 hours of cross stitch for the letter O is for 1/1 stitching, and this center of this hoop is just that. So at least if I can get the H finished, the hoop done, and start the 1/1, it doesn't matter how much I get done. It's not a number of stitches I have to count. It's just that I actually get to work on it. So I'm going to take the rest of the afternoon today and try to get that prompt met. Hope you're having a great time stitching. I have also a new start that I'm going to be doing again. Remember, it is May after all. But on my Whip Go board, I have number 21 that was called for this month is mice, a field mice hollow, and I'm supposed to stitch one of the mice. So I need to get that one started so I can figure out how to get over to the first mouse and to get started on it, because I got to finish that for my Whip Go goal, and I want to get that one done, of course. So that may be something that I do either tonight if I finish my other stitching in time, or it may be my Mother's Day stitch. So we'll see. I'll share it with you though, whatever it turns out to be. So anyway, I hope you're having a great Saturday. My son took me to lunch today. That was a lot of fun. And then we're going out to eat tomorrow for lunch as a family for Mother's Day. So I'm looking forward to that. And if you're a mom, I'm wishing you a happy Mother's Day as well. Happy stitching, everyone.